Welcome to another video update from one of the latest mods I did to the B1500 Dodge 3.9 liter Ram wagon transmission cooling lines. Basically, I added a temperature gauge that I teed in from the radiator feed line of the transmission feed line that goes into the radiator before it enters the radiator main cooling. And then it's basically brass plumbing fittings from hardware store with transmission line specific and constant tension clamps. And to do this, I also had to do a few double flares to the original hard lines that I tapped into with a rubber transmission hose. And so I'll take you through that. If you have any questions, please do let me know and enjoy the video. Thanks.
Okay, so look, that wrench there is 9/16. I believe the thread is a 1/2 inch NBT. The hose there, that's where our leak. We're having a slow leak. Just getting tranny fluid all over, here. Seeping out. But basically, we're going to double flare that hard line. I did a crappy flare job a year ago just to get it all installed. And it's held up, obviously, but, or obviously not. At least not, it's held up as far as operational of the vehicle, but and we're not low on tranny fluid, but we are leaking it, obviously. So, but anyway, the whole purpose is we're going to install our inline gauge, temperature gauge. And so we're going to do that here, reflare that, double flare it, so we can get the clamp to really secure on that, right outside that double flare, that lip there, ensure it's leak free, and run a new line. Well, I mean, we could technically use the old one, but we got new line to our inline gauge mechanism here, which we're going to use this. I'm going to install this one here. So this will basically be installed there, rubber line there, temperature gauge going up to the dash. And that's all coming next. Here's the gauge itself. We'll run some lines, some electrical line. We'll tap into the electrical system. But that's all after. First is the plumbing. We got to get this plumbed in, and we do anticipate some spillage. I'm parked on an incline, so most of the tranny fluid hopefully is in the tranny reservoir as opposed to up the front, so gravity will keep most of that contained. But we do have some clamps, and we got some plugs and caps as well that we can use to mitigate spillage. Yeah, and cardboard. Everything else I need, I think, is here. Oh, chalk up the wheels. Don't forget to chalk up the wheels so I don't get any rollovers or whatever. I'm not bumping around down there. And yeah, we got some thread, sealant. Of course, we got a cutter tool. We're gonna, once we pull the tube off, we're gonna find our even cut there to cut the pipe. And with this deburring tool, I guess, or this reamer, it's more what it is. Some little files I can use if I need to burn it. I thought I had a burning tool, but I didn't. But anyway, and a double flaring tool. So all this is just for, we're gonna do some practice flares before we do the real thing, and double flares. So way it works, I understand, thanks to YouTube University, is you find your size for your button for your first flare, your initial flare, and so we're working with 3/8 here, I think. We'll have to check the size exactly. And we get our button, and then we use this to flare it. Make the initial flare. I haven't even got a pipe cutter, but I got a better pipe cutter anyway here. And then the second flare, we remove the button, and then we just flare it directly with that. And that should give us a nice smooth flare to put our tube on. We've got two options. We're going to go with this one first. We should have plenty. Only half of this I should be able to do, but I got some other 3/8 inch if I need it. Pretty sure this is 3/8. All right, our initial practice flare, kind of skimpy. Didn't have enough offset there to really make a difference. On the second one, we got it, but it was a little bit crooked on our thing here, but we did a double flare. That's what we're aiming for, but I'll have to take a steel wool cloth, some mini files I got there on the actual one. The deburring or reamer works really good after your initial cut. That's what I found, to get the burrs off of those and inside and outside, but can't really apply the reamer post flare, so I'm gonna have to manually smoothen that out before we put the tube on there. But anyway, that's next step. I just want to make sure I knew what I was doing before I got into it. Well, we'll make sure we do our third time's a charm, our third double flare on the real thing. But first we've got to get that tube off and see how much fluid we end up losing. All right, got that clamped there. And I'm just gonna move that bolt, that nut there, holding that hose onto this pipe. So straighten it out. But again, remember we're on an incline, so hopefully most of the fluid will stay back in the reservoir of the transmission. All right. See it here? Okay, so here we remove this from here, but this is a bad flare. That's why it was leaking. So I'm gonna have to cut it right here, deburr it, and then double flare. You see what I'm touching here? And then ultimately I got this clamped here, so it's not gonna go anywhere. And then after that, I'll remove this. This is gonna come off, and we're gonna put our new fitting with our temperature gauge line there. All right. Almost got that cut, man. It's just hard. Okay. Cut that off. That was the old flare. Look. See what I'm doing?
Where? Oh.
That's the red thing? This is deburring the outside of the pipe. And now I'm doing the inside. Like, you know that those burrs, those little metal shards inside the pipe and outside the pipe. Before I do the flaring. Are you seeing it?
Yes.
Alright, we'll do that. Both inside and outside with this reamer tool. I'm just gonna get all the little metal pieces out of there. It's like filing, basically, before I do my flare. Okay. Alright, look up here where I'm pointing to as well.
Yes.
So where I had to pull it off, otherwise I wasn't able to cut it properly, so. So I basically had to pry that off. I had to take a screwdriver and pry that off. That way I could access it and get a proper cut. And this is my initial flare with the button. That's as much as I can get it. All right. I'll take that flare off. So I'm bending the tube a little bit. That off, get that button off. Let it just comes right off. Take that button off. That was the button. I'm gonna move that over here. Almost done anyway. One more step to do here.
Almost ready to got the button straight up on the tube. On the metal tube. Tranny's cooler tube. Highway. Straight, straight. Alright, yes it is. Okay, hopefully that's enough. We got it properly.
Alright, so I was able to get a flare out there. I'll file that down before I put a tube on there, but got to plug in there just in case. It's gravity is keeping most of the transmission fluid in the reservoir, but there is some residual in here once I pull this off. So got the pan ready to collect. I will need these little needle nose angled pliers. Oh, not too much. There's some, obviously. Collect it all. Let it drain there. So it's in the radiant cooler, nice and clear and red, not black. So I think we're doing good on this. I'll let it go out for a bit. So I'm working with a clean surface there. Okay, I've got that on. Got that on there. I'll do the electrical gauge thing later, but it should be a tight fit right now. I've got thread locker there. And the only thing I need to do before I really start driving it, if it I'm going to test it, see if it leaks first, but I need to mount this up here. I need to mount this up here. There, can't see it. Up here, so it doesn't bang against our suspension down here. So yeah, after some time, it's definitely holding up. There's some little bit of grease there, but there's no more leak. That's our sender unit. That runs up to the dash, to the gauge itself, and it's just an electrical conductor. And the fluid actually goes to this line here, and it's at the perfect curve here with our new radial liner. But basically, our flare is holding up. We do got a crank seal slow leak that we're gonna have to address here, that we introduce when we try to set the crank seal with the crankshaft. But anyway, that's not urgent right now. It'll come though. Got the special tool for that coming. But anyway, yeah, this flare job is holding up with our constant tension clamp. You can see the lip right there. It's holding up. There's no leaks whatsoever, so perfect. And you don't want to introduce too much curvature here. And then I just got it mounted with one of these onto our bracket there. It's a little rubber hose bracket there. And all is good on the hood on that side. And so our auxiliary transmission cooler in there is still holding up good, and that's what's keeping our transmission fluid low, but that I can monitor with the gauge. That's the point. So we'll go inside here. So coming from the inside, the place we decided to mount our gauge is down here low. I mean, I could have did it up here somewhere on the dash or whatever, but we went with right here. That's where our brake controller is too. So the reason why I went right here is easy. We've got access to an ignition power. So whenever the ignition is turned on, it runs through the cigarette lighter. We've tapped in through one of these. I don't know if you can really see under there. I should show you the diagram. But basically, yeah, there's ground and there's an ignition light. So when it's in operation, when it's getting power, there's a light that comes on. And then there's to actually engage the sender unit. We were tapped into the positive power of the vehicle via the cigarette lighter ignition switch. So yeah, it's gotten up. I went on the highway, and obviously it's cooling down pretty good on the highway. The hottest I've seen it midday in the summer was like 180, 185, 190. In some, yeah, it doesn't heat up. Our transmission auxiliary cooler is working fine. We no longer have a leaking feed line anymore due to our double flaring job, and we can monitor the temperatures it does actively. Basically, we're monitoring it at the point between when the fluid leaves the transmission, when it's the hottest, and right before it goes into the first stage of cooling at the radiator. If we were idling in a hot day or we were towing something heavy up a hill, then the transmission's working harder, then it might start to heat up, and that's when the temperature would need to be cooled again. So we haven't gotten to that stage where we're really needing to push it, and we don't really hopefully need to push the transmission beyond. But that's the reason why we've got this gauge. If it does get a little bit, starts pushing towards the red line, 200, 210, then we'll know we're overworking the transmission, and we just simply need to stop, cool it down, and then start again before it gets too hot. Transmission failure.